Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sunny Side Up podcast, episode 5. It's really great to have you here again, and I'm currently in the middle of a little series on managing emotions. Following up from the last episode, which was about bottling up emotions, this one will primarily be about problem solving. Perhaps you remember that last time I mentioned the logical levels by Robert Dilts. I'm really fascinated by them, and I absolutely enjoy doing my research to explain this whole concept. But not only do they help with problem solving, but many other things too. A biggie being managing emotions. So let's look into it. I bet you all know the situation of making a change within life, whether that be a change of behavior or a change of habits. And without having to say this, some changes are easier to make than others. Some are just really tough, some don't last long at all, and some last a lifetime. But what does the effectiveness of this change depend on? Well, it depends on which logical level you're making this change on. Now, I bet you're really confused, so let me explain this. An easy way to picture the logical levels is by picturing a pyramid with 6 levels, and each level affects the ones below it. The 6 levels are, starting from the bottom, environment, behavior, capability and confidence, belief, identity, and spirituality. What exactly does each level mean, and how does a person operating in it act and behave and think? Let's start with the first level, environment. This level is all about external conditions. It's about the place that we do stuff in, that we live in. It's the situation that we're facing and coping with right now. It's the space around us. This is our environment. And a person's mindset when they're on this level would be pretty superficial. What is happening and how is it happening? An environment is directly affected by its upper level behavior. The behavior are the actions and the reactions of a person. So whatever behavior a person is having right now, it affects the environment. Is the environment tranquil, tense, awkward? In the behavior, this one gets impacted by capability and confidence, or the how level. Because a person on the capability level talks and thinks of how to achieve something and how to do something and what they need to achieve this thing. Naturally, your ability will impact your behavior. And I don't mean that when you're total shit at golf, you get mad and, drown the golf cart in the nearest lake, but being bad at golf will impact the way you choose to behave. Does this make sense? The next level is belief, and for me, this one is really interesting because belief can be so many different things. Religion, but also anything that makes us see sense. Belief can be anything that empowers us, inspires us, or makes us hopeful. Belief and values go hand in hand, basically. The belief level is the reasoning behind your behavior. And the underlying values, why did we do what we did? What values underlie our behavior? You can ask yourself, why do I care? Because the reason of you caring will impact your behavior. Let's say, for example, you care about your friend's health, and your friend is sick momentarily, and you make them a chicken broth and bring it to them because you care about them. So, essentially, you care about your friend, and this makes you do this thing for them. Great example. Naturally, whatever you believe in will impact your capability. For example, if you say, I can't swim, this may just stop you from attempting it. So if you just do a small mindset shift alone on this level, and it's a perfect example, it can already help you. If you just change your beliefs in some things. Before I continue with the 5th level, identity, I'm going to do a small recap because you're probably really lost right now. So we had the first level environment, which were the external conditions. The environment was impacted by behavior, the actions and reactions. The third level was capability and competence, how we do something. The fourth level was belief and values, why we do something. And now comes identity. It's also called the who level. What do I like? What are my hobbies or my passions? What makes me me? Or am I a dog or a cat person? All these determine who you are as a person. And people suffering from stress often engage at this level especially. They think stuff like, I'm a bad person, even though it's not even about them. It's about external factors, right? They change their whole identity because of a misconception that suggests they're a bad person. And it's so frustrating. And this is already a perfect example for what I actually wanted to tell you later. You have to switch from levels to make sense of things. You cannot just stay on one level and say, this is what it is, because it's not. There are more perspectives. The last level would be spirituality. This one isn't always included because it goes beyond everything. It goes beyond the individual. It's the bigger ideas behind the individual, the family, the community, maybe the universe. It's also called the wisdom level. It's pretty flexible because we all have a whole different view on that, obviously. And so that was it. Those were the 6 levels: environment, behavior, capability and competence, belief and values, identity, and spirituality. It doesn't matter if you don't remember them all perfectly. Just being aware of these levels can already go a long way because you know that it's not only about one thing like behavior, it's about 5 other things at least. Oftentimes when we're stuck on a problem, it can be because we're stuck on one level. We're looking at it from one perspective and one perspective only. Take the example I told you before about being stressed. Let's say work is stressing you out a lot, but you are stuck on the level of identity. Who am I? And because you're so stressed, you think, oh, I'm a bad person. This is all because I'm a bad person. But you're looking at it from only this identity level. You're not looking at it from the environment level. Maybe the environment is stressing you out, but you being stuck on the identity level is making you think you're a bad person. You see what I mean? A method to cope with emotions and solve problems would be asking questions from different levels. So what I mean is, let's have a situation. Our friend is struggling in school and you want to help them. And so you ask them questions, and you could ask them questions like, why do you have the feeling you're struggling? Or why do you have the feeling you're no good in school? This would be on the belief level. Why do you feel like this? Another question could be, how is the atmosphere in school? And does it affect you in any way? This would be on the environment level. How could you do things differently? This is the competence and capability level. Do you normally experience these thoughts or go through these actions or have these emotions? This is the identity level. So you see what I mean? You widen your perspective. You get a bigger idea of the whole situation. And this can make you see it from a different view and make you realize, oh wait, that's right. I was just looking at it with a tunnel view kind of sort of thing. So being aware of these levels and knowing how to ask questions from different levels, which can take a bit of practice, but you'll get there, can help you make long-lasting changes. Identify emotions and assist others that don't know what to do, even though it's easier to help a friend anyway than helping yourself. That also being a reason to speak to yourself like you would to a best friend, because it's just so much easier. When your best friend is having trouble, it is so easy to give them advice, but when you're in trouble, you're like, goodness gracious, what do I do? There is no way out. You have this tunnel vision. So speak to yourself like you would to a best friend all the time. It practices self-love. It gives you great advice. And it's just great in all perspectives, to be honest. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And I know this was quite science-y, but I think it's good to have a little bit of background information that's based on science at least. Take your time to process this information. It was probably a lot to take in. And obviously feel free to take notes or write down anything that spoke to you. Maybe you want to Google logical levels, because then you'll also find the picture of the pyramid, which I found really good. And keep on practicing asking questions from different levels, because this will definitely help you. You will not fall into that tunnel vision. So have really good luck with that, and I know you can do it. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day and some great moments coming up for Christmas now, or whatever you celebrate. And just enjoy the winter and the snow, if you happen to have some. It hasn't snowed here yet. It snowed early in December, which was really weird, but it hasn't snowed since, so I really hope it does. Well, have a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.